change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I have today.
LaVern Vivio, and y'all know what we're doing if you've been here before. It is, again, just a chance to visit with everybody around town. Again, this is 1100 WSGI, just making sure we got that out there. A few little camera issues this morning. Technology's just not been our friend this week. We had problems yesterday, too, but we're getting it together, so we're here. We're glad you're here, and also here we've got Kait and Emily, all right? Hello, guys. You'll have to get right up on those microphones, and they're with the RCP. And if you're in Robertson County and you've been here a minute, you know what the RCP is. It is
the Robertson County Players.
Thank you very much. And of course, you know, they're here because we want you to know about an upcoming production that they have. I'm so excited that my friend Stephanie is in it. So Dr. Stephanie Evans is in this. And the reason why is because I've got another friend of mine, you know who you are, Muriel Barnett, that wants to do this. And I get excited when friends that I know, this is something in the back of my mind, I think maybe one day I'll do it, but I'm just like, maybe not. But Muriel, I know, really wants to do a play. And I did not know that was a thing for Steph. And I think it's just great when you have that thing and you finally go, I'm going to do this. And it's so cool. You know, I've got a couple of my kiddos that are really, you know, they're adult men now and have careers and families and all that, but they love the theater. And I keep telling them community theater, find community theater where you are.
Definitely.
And because it's such a wonderful community and family, and it just, you know, lets you fulfill that little thing in you that's just pulling you to the stage. You know, you've either got that or you don't, right? How long have y'all known you had that?
Oh, me.
I started in community theater when I was 13.
Okay.
With the Robertson County Players.
Nice.
I knew I loved to sing. I knew I loved to dance, but I'd never really acted before. And they were doing the Music Man, Robertson County Players were.
Okay.
And I kind of saw an advertisement. I went to the first day of auditions and totally panicked. And my parents were like, no, you really want to do this? So I went home, practiced, came back the next day of auditions and said, I'm going to try this again.
Okay.
And much better prepared. I got up and then I got to be in the Music Man. And ever since then, the Robertson County Players have just been a family, and community theater has been such a passion.
Love that. Emily, how about you?
Yes, well, I have been, church. I did plays and stuff in church when I was little, but I really started doing like theater in like middle school, you know, just like middle school theater stuff. And I started with RCP in 2018 with Footloose, and then have been with them since. Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all both very young. Yeah, and I think that's great. Well, but I think that's wonderful because sometimes community theater will get the reputation it's the older folks, you know, and you need that youthful. You got to have that next generation coming along and keeping the torch going.
Yep.
And so I think I have not met you guys. So when y'all walked in, I'm like, these are kids. These are kids. But that's wonderful. That is absolutely what programs like RCP need, is we need that young blood coming in here. So that's very cool. Now, what are your roles in this play?
I am the director of the show. This is actually my directorial debut.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
It'll be really fun. It's been fantastic.
That is fun. Now, Emily, what's your last name?
Denson.
Denson. So you're the director, and are you a producer?
I am.
Okay. Okay. So, because I told him, I said in the banner, I did not realize Emily was coming, but that's wonderful. And you may have told me, and it just went over my head. But so we got director and producer for Pride and Prejudice. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Good.
So what made you? I'm gonna get you to get up on that mic a little bit closer for me, Emily. So what made you how did you get to do, was that just one that they put out there and they're like, who wants to direct it? Or did you come and say, I really want to direct Pride and Prejudice? Was it your idea? Because I know they have that slate where they come to the board and say, here's what we want to do during this season. How did that process work?
It was about 2 years ago, actually. I had jokingly talked about directing it because I liked the story so much. And I was like, what if I actually did? So in, what was it? Was it 2023 or would it be 2024? I had proposed it. I had to make my own presentation and present it to the board. And they said yes.
I love it.
So I waited a year because I was rolled into the next season.
Okay.
So
you're ready for this.
Yeah, I'm ready.
That is exciting. I can't wait to see this. So what's the We'll give save the date. I told him, I said, I really want to have you guys in a little bit closer to the date because we're a good month away, really. But so we'll need to opening week have somebody come back in, maybe bring some cast members, maybe bring Stephanie. I'm excited for her.
Yes.
I'm really excited for her. Dr. Evans is in this play, and what is her role? You were telling me.
Miss Gardner.
Okay, that's great. And so, and whoever can, I know she's super busy, but and I can't imagine how busy she is now with the play going on. But I just think that's great. So tell me the dates of the show.
So the dates are March 21st, 22nd, and 28th and 29th at 7 p.m. And then we also have 2 matinees on March 23rd and 29th at 2 p.m.
Oh, that's perfect. Because that opening night you said is the 21st?
Yes, ma'am.
That's during spring break.
It is.
Yay.
Timing.
You should have a great turnout for that because people will be a little bit freer and not so much going on. That'll be the night that I'll come because I want to see this play. It's it's just a wonderful story. What made you pick Pride and Prejudice?
It was one of those stories that I had a clear vision of in my head. And the prospect of bringing it to life with Robertson County players was just so exciting to me. And I was like, if I'm going to do one, this is the one I want to start with.
Gotcha.
Because
Gotcha.
I think this is something that RCP would do such a good job with and would just be a really good one to do.
I think so. Now, what is the time on it? I mean, what kind of that's one of those things. It's like how long will we're going to have an intermission? It's kind of unpack that for us so we kind of know.
I want to say overall it's about 2 hours. The first half is about, I want to say, an hour, 10 minutes, and then the next half is about 50.
Okay, that sounds good. So do you want to, for those who might not know the storyline, can you give us a little bit of an unpacking for it so people can be prepared for it? 'Cause some people are like, well, I've always heard of Pride and Prejudice, but what basic, can you give them, unpack the premise of it?
Well, in the title of the show, you've got Pride and Prejudice. And so we've got a big family, the Bennett family, that has several daughters and a hilarious, very uptight mother. And they're living in around the 1810s, maybe a little bit earlier. And so they're kind of in that zone of going to balls and looking for their perfect match. But they've also got to be handsome. They've got to be able to dance. They've got to have money. And the thing is that the Bennetts don't have as much money. They're a little bit,
but they're very proud.
They go out and they're a little bit louder than the other families. They're a little bit sillier. And so some of the men out there kind of look at them and are a little bit prejudiced against that because they're not as, fancy and rich. And so we've got kind of a persnickety, tall, dark, handsome man meets really rowdy, opinionated, strong-willed, headstrong, obstinate girl, if you will, and kind of see their stubbornness match, and they truly find their match. And so it's just a beautiful story of each of the sisters trying to make their way in the world and try to overcome some of the thoughts that were already built up in their head about who they should love, what they should look for in a partner.
I love it. And it is a great storyline, and it's a classic, of course. I think it's a good pick. Yeah. Has RCP ever done this one? Okay. Wow. Okay. There you go. It's for, because a lot of times some will roll back through, and I didn't think I had ever seen it. But this will be a great show, guys. I'm excited for it. So, what is do you have? Talk to me a little bit about your characters. Do you have some people that you want to showcase as far as what they're doing, and maybe are there some new actors in this maybe that we haven't seen?
So
yes,
really,
one of the most exciting things about this show is we have so many people who have never done it before or have come from other states and moved here and needed a place to
plug in,
do their passion. And so the fact that we have so many new people and it's like such a new show, and I have they're so also fantastic and so talented.
I'm excited for you then, because that's the thing. We've got our regulars that we see in, in the productions around town. Yes. And, but that's, as you said, there's a lot of new people in Robertson County now.
Yeah.
We've been so excited because especially this show, like you said, you've got to have that mix of your older or more experienced people and then your younger people. And I think the Robertson County players right now are really in the perfect spot of that balance with our really, really experienced regulars that have been in shows and are just like know the tried and true process, and then some new people with some new ideas. And I think this production is just such a beautiful representation of where the Robertson County players are at right now. We've got people who have been in many, many shows like Donnie King and Lewis Walling and
names we all know.
Yes, of course. And then we've got some new people that have never done anything with RCP before. Our two leads, actually, Anna Claire and Trey, have never done anything with the Robertson County players before. So we're so excited to give them that spotlight and so excited to have them represent the RCP the way that they have so far. They're phenomenal.
I love it. I love it. We had when they did the show, and we need to also mention, I'm assuming this one will be at Coopertown again, Coopertown Middle. Yep. People are quite familiar with the theater there at Innovation Academy, formerly Springfield Middle and Springfield High School. That, iconic theater, that historic theater, they're under renovation, that whole school. They're doing so much renovations in that school right now. So we can't use that theater for the moment, so we're at Coopertown. Do we know how many more shows will probably be at Coopertown?
So the rest of this season and most likely all of next season, which we've already put into place, we already know what shows we're doing next season, will be at Coopertown Middle.
Okay.
And we're so grateful that they've let us come there. Of course, we missed the Innovation Academy. But we're so excited. The Robertson County players this year have sort of kicked it into high gear with fundraising to find our own space.
Oh, wow.
We've been so grateful that the school systems have let us in and just really given us free reign to do what we're passionate about and share it with the community. But there, things can be unreliable and you may not always be able to go to the place that you're used to going to. And a lot of times people will say, oh, well, I can't drive that far out, or I went to the wrong, I didn't know what school it was at. I wasn't sure. And we want to have our own place that we can have rehearsals and have auditions and have our performances. That is a central place for all of Robertson County to get to come see our shows.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that was in the works. So,
yes.
Ooh, give me a little. Can you kind of tease me with that a little bit of some details? Do y'all have some details? I'm surprised Danny hadn't mentioned that to me because he keeps me in the loop.
It's a pretty new development that the board has been working on, but we're super excited to finally share that. But we are fundraising in lots of different ways, but especially a portion of our ticket sales for our shows will be going to our sort of theater fund. And each of our shows will also be doing some kind of small fundraiser, or will be doing a fundraiser for their show so that a portion of the money can go to saving for a theater. And right now we don't have the specifics of where exactly it's going to be, or if we're going to build it, if we're going to rent it, if we're going to buy it.
Right.
But we're looking and, learning what, asking around and gathering information and just trying to reach out to the community to remind them that we're here. And we've been here since 1978 and we've never had our own theater. And a lot of people are surprised by that.
Yeah. Well, I can think of a really good place Downtown. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
We
I
get
don't know
that a
what the
lot.
deal is with the
Yeah.
theater down there, but
Yeah.
man, wouldn't that be wonderful if that could be the home of RCP? I don't know. There's people out there that have tons of money. Why don't y'all do that? Why don't y'all just do that and gift it?
Please.
Let it be a community theater. I think this is a brilliant idea. I mean, I don't know who owns that now. Has that sold? Do y'all know anything about it? I don't know if it's
think
still
that
on
it-
the block or not.
We've looked into it
Yeah.
specifically along
on,
with some
y'all.
other places.
Y'all money people out there. Y'all know how to do this.
The hard thing is, not everywhere is built to be a theater, and it
Mm-hmm.
is tough to find a place that has a place that all of our actors can change and,
Yeah.
backstage place to hold all of your set pieces.
Well, that's true.
So it's
that might not be perfect for that. So I don't know. I hadn't thought about that.
Once you really sit and think about what all would we actually need to have the theatrical experience we're looking to give the community,
Yeah.
it's tough. So
Okay.
it's going to take a while, but
Huh.
our board is really, that is the current goal that we're driving towards.
Mhm.
And we're really trying to raise awareness in the community and
Mhm.
accepting donations
There you
and
go.
Yeah.
come to our shows.
Yeah. So would that
Support
theater
us.
not work for that? Is
I-
it not? I don't know.
I can't say that it wouldn't work if
Yeah.
if anyone
Somebody wants to give it to them.
but we've definitely looked into things like that
Yeah.
to try to see even help us create a vision of what we even would need or what's available.
I see that theater in downtown, and I just see it as something that can be so iconic and beautiful and historical, and just a pivotal thing in our downtown community to really ignite what we're all desiring the downtown square to become.
Yeah.
And there's been so many things that have come through, and we thought, okay, this is going to help ignite it. And I think a vibrant theater would be fabulous, like they have in Franklin. Franklin ain't got nothing on us, y'all. Come on. But, and we're so much more affordable. I'm just saying. But, that's something that I just would love to see really. And I mean, there's some old money in this town. I mean, that's something that I think could just be built into something really beautiful, not just for maybe RCP, but for all kinds of theatrical things that come through there, and shows and classic movies, and just I think about the potential. But again, the money drives it. But there's some that are just sitting on some. Come on, that'd be cool though. And I mean, I think it would just go a long way to really help revitalize the downtown square. And it's just such a cool place. It's such a cool place. That would be really neat. But I don't know. I didn't know y'all were looking for a permanent place. Now y'all got that in my head. I'm like, man, what can we do to help that happen?
Oh, thank you.
But we're talking with Kait. How do you say your last name?
Logsdon.
Logsdon, simple. And an unusual spelling on Kait. I love it. It's really cute. And Emily, what is your last name?
Denson.
Denson. You told me that already. So, and director and producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the Pride and Prejudice. Great play, great book, just anybody that wants to see just some really good community theater, this is it. This is going to be awesome. Again, excited for some of my friends that are in it, and it will be a lot of fun. Again, the opening night is during spring break, so no excuses. You can get there. Where can we get tickets? Are tickets on sale yet?
They are. Tickets are
Okay.
on sale online right now on our website at robertsoncountyplayers.org. Com?
No,
RobertsonCountyPlayers.org, I think.
I think so.
Let me see. we'll just play with it here.
But you can also get them through our Facebook or our Instagram, which is the Robertson County Players, or at Robertson County Players. We also really quickly have an exciting event coming up March 1st at 2 and 5 at the Maybell, a historical home in Springfield. We are having a Regency tea with RCP to celebrate sort of us getting closer to Pride and Prejudice and do a little bit of fundraising.
Okay.
For the Robertson County Players and our production. So we'll have actors in character in Regency costumes.
Oh, wonderful.
We'll have some amazing catering by Shade Tree Orchard.
Oh, nice.
And kind of all get to sit down with everybody who gets tickets and have tea and some food and enjoy just the beautiful ambiance of the Maybell and celebrate what's going to be hopefully an amazing show for the Robertson County
And
players.
what an elegant little gathering. I love that.
Yes.
It'll be, and it is RobertsonCountyPlayers.org. RobertsonCountyPlayers.org. You were correct. And it pops up just, very easily. And that's where you can pre-purchase your tickets. You'll get all the details about the different show dates. Like they said, the 21st, 22nd, 28th, 29th at 7 p.m. And then you've got your matinees on the 23rd and 29th at 2 p.m. I love the matinee performances too, though. Those are real convenient because I get sleepy at night. I get up so early. I have a hard time staying up very late anymore. I'm getting old. But, and you can also purchase, is this the first show of the season? Or?
It technically is. It was going to be the last show of last season.
Okay.
But we've reconfigured our shows so that each season will take place in one calendar year.
Okay.
So it is now the first show of the 2025 season.
That's good because that was always a little confusing for me. The season would start like at the like middle of the year or toward the fall, wasn't it? Or no? I don't know. It just kind of had a wonky start to me. It just kind of was confusing.
Yeah.
So the season, I like that they did that. I think that was a
yes.
really good idea. So you can get season tickets is what I'm saying.
Yes.
You can pick up that season ticket. And what will that season ticket get you? This is the first show. Do you know what else is coming up?
Yes. So if you purchase a season ticket, you will get a ticket for one show of each of our upcoming shows, which will be Pride and Prejudice in March. It will also get you a ticket to I was about to, Much Ado About Nothing is in the fall.
Okay.
Our upcoming summer musical, very exciting, is Little Shop of Horrors. And then I will actually be directing The Mousetrap
Fun.
in November. So
Okay, now Mousetrap I'm not familiar with. What's the premise of that one?
it is an Agatha Christie show. It's actually considered to be the longest running play of all time because it is still on stage in London.
Really?
But it is one of Agatha Christie's classic mysteries.
Okay.
Kind of like Clue, you've got a bunch of people trapped in a
Oh, that'll
mansion
be
in the snow.
fun.
So
When is that one going to be?
it'll be in November.
Okay.
hmm
Okay, and Much to Do About Nothing is in the fall, you said?
It is in the early fall, and
Okay.
it will actually, it's going to be pretty fun. I won't spoil anything because I want that production team to be able to
Right.
share about it, but there's a little bit of a twist to it. So not
Okay.
your classic Shakespeare. So
Okay.
that's going to be exciting. And then if you get a season ticket, you also get some complimentary Robertson County Players merch.
Okay.
Which is exciting. So we also, if you become a sponsor of the Robertson County Players, you receive tickets for, depending on how much you're able to contribute as a sponsor, you can receive tickets to come see our shows as well.
Awesome. And of course, now the musical Little Shop of Horrors, so good. One of my kids was in Little Shop of Horrors at Good Pasture.
Really?
He was the plant. He was.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Oh, and
that's
I mean,
so exciting.
he has got this theatrical voice that just, and it's, I am ashamed of myself that I did not get him, and Elijah and Caleb should have been involved in Robertson County Players. I was always a commuter until I sat down behind this microphone and really learned about my community. I didn't really know what Robertson County had going on. And because I was always in Nashville, I was a commuter. And so for those of you who are commuters, plug in. You have no idea what Robertson County has to offer. And I had two kids, very theatrical, that would have loved being a part of Robertson County Players. And I tell them now, I'm like, I'm so sorry, y'all. I had no idea how vibrant it was. But yeah, he was, what's the name of the plant? I forget.
Audrey, too.
Yeah. And he was fabulous, and I just love that show to this day because it's such a fun memory of his high school, and but I mean it's fun. It's a fun show. It's a fun show.
Really exciting. We've got several new directors this year as well, so that's going to be really exciting. The director for Little Shop of Horrors is also making his directorial debut, so we're excited for him.
That's exciting, and they do one musical a year typically, right? So we do have one musical a year, and that as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, cool. Yep. But you can still get your season tickets for all four shows. Just go to RobertsonCountyPlayers.org, RobertsonCountyPlayers.org. Get those season tickets, become a sponsor, and somebody buy them a theater. Come on, let's do it. I still think the downtown theater would be perfect. I don't know. I mean, like you said, you got to have the backstage, you got to have dressing rooms, all that. Well, that could be fixed.
Yeah, we're open to looking at our options.
I'm telling you, wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh, I just think that would be fabulous, y'all. I just love that. I just have this. I just want to see that theater just be something so cool, and that would be so cool to have it. The Robertson County Players, that be their home, but then all these other things could be happening when you aren't in production and all. See the potential. I'm just saying. But anyway, anything we're missing, guys? Before we got United Way, Brian Pulley is going to be coming in here in just a minute. So anything else y'all want to cover before we wrap this up, our time?
We got Pride and Prejudice. We have the Regency Tea at RCP. We're still looking for some sponsors and season ticket holders. We've got some pretty exciting events in the works, fundraisers, shows, and some little extra added performances maybe in there somewhere.
I love it.
So we've got a lot of exciting things coming up. The Robertson County Players, I think, are really pushing towards some great things this season.
I'm so excited. The next generation of Robertson County Players right here. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw them first here on 1100 WSGI. God bless you guys. Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And don't forget, you've got my phone number now.
Yes, ma'am.
So text me and let me know what's convenient for y'all opening week. And we gotta get y'all. Or maybe that spring break week I won't be on. I won't be on the show. But now Lee Marie maybe can have y'all in. But I could have y'all in the week before.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out. Maybe the week before, because I'm taking off spring break, y'all. I'm just doing it. And because I'm a school teacher now. And I'm like, yeah, I'd like this. So, but maybe the week before we'll do something that maybe just that Thursday before. Let's just kind of pencil it in.
Sounds great.
Okay? That Thursday before y'all open. Come in the same timeline, and you can be in here before Brian pops in. We'll do the same thing.
Awesome.
Sound
Thank
good?
you so much.
Good day.
Thank you so
nice
much.
to meet you
Nice
guys.
to meet you.
Robertson
Thank you
County
so
Players,
much.
Pride and Prejudice coming up. Opening night the 21st. Go to RobertsonCountyPlayers.org. Become a season ticket holder. Thank you, guys.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
y'all. I'm going to let y'all make the switch. Brian will come in. Well, I'm going to do my live ad for Barry and Rebecca Richards with, so well, Barry and Rebecca Richards there with Exit Prime Realty. If you need help in the real estate community, you will find none any better than Brian and Rebecca Richards. They are just great friends of the program. They have been with us, sponsors really from the very get-go, from the very beginning. They have been with us here at 1100 WSGI. I met them originally. Brian, are you out there? Come on in here. I was like, okay, I thought I saw you come in. But I met them originally at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. And I say, from this point on, we got to kind of mention the festival every time I talk about Brian and Rebecca. But that festival is coming up the third weekend in May. I'm wanting to say it's the 16th and 17th. I'm digging for those dates right now. But you're going to need to save the date to make sure you're there for the Bluegrass Festival, Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. Yes, May 16th and 17th at Kilgore Park up in Cross Plains. Barry and Rebecca are Cross Plainians, but I met them originally at the Bluegrass Festival. We want you to be a part of it. They're sponsors, of course, founding sponsors, and there'll be a chance for you to sit down across the table from them and talk to them about buying, selling, whatever it is that you are curious about, what you need to know. They can help you and make sure that you're going to navigate the waters beautifully. Maybe you want to be a realtor. Both of them came out of earlier careers and decided to go into real estate, so they understand that very specifically. Rebecca vetted a lot of different companies before she decided to go with Exit. She can tell you that story. She's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. She's been at this a long time. Barry, the marketer of the bunch, now has a brokerage office in Springfield. She has an agency office in White House. They put those two offices together to bring you a new branch in the Exit tree. They are Exit Prime Realty, specializing in Robertson County properties, of course, because they're from Cross Plains. They live in Cross Plains, been there for like 30 years, and also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky, because like me, they are originally Kentuckians. If you want to connect with them, go to sellwithbecky.com, or you can go to robertsoncounty.com, or just give Rebecca a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Let them know that you turned sent you. And oh my goodness, Brian Pulley is in the house. I feel like
apparently we live in Minnesota now, with the weather and stuff. So, and where we live in our little part of the world is back on a hill with another hill and a holler and everything else. And so when it snows, we're in for a little bit. Yeah,
landlocked. I started to, when we were trying to figure out if we were going to be going back to school or anything, I told Mark, I said, I need to call Brian because he lives on one of them little crickety roads that's one of those last roads to clear.
It is that we're definitely on that list. So I can always tell if my hill getting out of our neighborhood is okay, then we're probably all right. But there's one more area as you're getting to the main road, like once you get out of our neighborhood, that's going down a hill and heavily shaded. It's got trees hanging on both.
Treacherous.
And it can be, and it goes right into a 4-way, like a stop deal. So if you go skidding through that intersection, that could be bad.
You better believe it.
So I'm always I've been in a few ditches in my life due to the weather, and just always try to take it, unless you have to get out. I mean, take a little caution. We all have laptops and cell phones. My office is wherever I'm sitting. So I can work from wherever. So it's not, and I'm fortunate in that regard. So, but I know some people don't have that option and have to get out. And but if you don't have to, I just like to stay in. So
it's so funny. One time, when I was just first getting acclimated to being retired from full-time radio, because I've always, I mean, if it snows, I mean, that's your busy time. You got to get out. I mean, you got to be
Super
there.
Bowl
Of course,
for y'all.
I had a studio in my house and all that kind of thing, so I could do that. But then sometimes I had to be on the roads. But nonetheless, whenever I took this show over, and one time I was like, I don't need to go in. You was like, well, you can do it from your home. Your Maldonado, right? Our president of Ebenezer Broadcasting, and I was like, okay, I'll come in. And because we live just 2 miles away. It's hard to not, and we've had so much fun. And my husband's a Yankee, he thinks
they take great pride. They take great pride in that,
and making fun of us and all that. It's
one of their great joys. I worked with a big group of people from Wisconsin and Ohio, respectively, and for some reason, a lot of Wisconsin people, of course, they just are immersed in it all the time. But what they found out really quickly after moving here, it's not their snow.
No.
There's ice involved usually. And that's our first thing we get. And then the snow comes on top of it. It's very slick. And also we don't have any really the equipment that they have to clear it off. We get it. Y'all can clear it off and it's fine, but it's not big, fluffy, fun stuff. People can drive on that. That's doable. The ice, I don't care how skilled, you're not going anywhere. Like I watch them, our hill going out, I can see from my back window. And I'll see some of these big old 4-wheel drive trucks, and they just slide on back. They're not going. It's just physics or what. I don't know what it's not happening, man. So it was funny. We were in a meeting for our basketball tournament one year, and those tend to run really long because there's a lot of stuff involved. And in the conference room, there's no windows. And so we were in there in a late afternoon window, and as one of these snows, we knew it was coming, but it came quicker than we thought, and then it snowed a lot more than we thought. So we all, we looked out our windows when we got there, and there was lines of traffic. It was in Brentwood, Tennessee, lines of traffic getting out. And it took everybody hours upon hours. I ended up walking the rest of my way because I got stuck. And so after that, my boss, who's a wonderful person, she's from Wisconsin, she understood a little bit of what we deal with. She didn't want to be stuck in hours of traffic. So she was a little more forgiving on letting us go if it was supposed to be some bad weather. So she got a taste of what it's like and why
welcome to the South.
Why we don't get out in it. This is because nobody else could deal with it. The roads are bad. So anyway,
you got to do what you got to do. And today it's going to be 60.
It's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be beautiful today. And you got to love it. But now the reality of it is we could get another turn of it, guys, before we're into
may not be done with it.
Yeah. And I kind of got a feeling we might not be. I'm afraid it's going to hit during spring break.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we don't have cold weather during spring break because I really want to. Are you going to have some fun during spring break?
We are. We're going to go a little deal with our family. It's not far. It's drivable and stay in a little cabin for a couple of days and going. There's an animal sanctuary thing we're taking the kids to, stuff like that. So fun. Just get away for a couple of days. Yep.
I've got some of my Uper family coming down.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother-in-law
That'd be cool.
and his sweet bride. Yeah, they're coming down and staying with us, so we're excited about that.
That'd be awesome.
So we're gonna have fun. But I'm excited for spring break. I'm a teacher. I'm taking spring break.
You're starting to really look forward to those breaks.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's good. Yeah. Lee Marie will be filling in. I've already confirmed that with her. But yeah, so the one day y'all couldn't get here, so we came in and we did the snow report. My husband and I, it's kind of become our thing. If there's snow, we got to get out and do a road report.
Takes you back a little bit.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
Thousands of people will look at that.
Yeah. They're fascinated by it.
They're like, thank you for letting us see it. But it's hysterical.
Everybody's so curious about that. Like, have you been out?
Yeah.
What's it like out there? It's so funny. I was like, oh, that's a little slick.
Videos went out. Don't look at LaVern's Facebook. She's got a video of there.
I promise you, don't ever call me and ask me I've been out. I have not. I will get out when it's clear. When we get it all clear, I will get back out.
We're almost always out because if it's a radio day, I'm going to come in and do the show. Usually me and Mark and Bill. Sometimes Matt Driscoll will come in because he's another northerner that just don't know when to stay home. So there's a few of us that'll come in and just kind of have fun with it. But welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
See you too.
Yeah, and you're feeling good.
Yeah, it's been kind of a
Yeah.
it was 2 weeks ago today. My knee. I hesitate to say a whole lot about it because number one, I don't want to discourage people from having joint replacement. But they opened up my knee 2 times after my knee replacement because if anybody was at the Isaiah 117 dinner, they had to roll me out in an office chair because I had my knee swelled up like 3 times the size it was supposed to be, and it was just bizarre. And that happened like 8, 9 times. It was not fun. And they went in 2 weeks ago, and what they found is where they were part of the bonding agent or whatever, where the joint comes together. Some of the bonding agent had seeped out of the joint and had hardened. It was like a little rock in there. And they finally found it, ground it down, and I think it's perfect now.
It's good.
I mean, I'm kicking pretty hard now, and I'm just trying not to overdo it.
Right.
But until I'm back to full activity, we won't be for sure. But yeah, I think we're golden now.
Right,
so
good.
I'm like, yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
it's been a saga, but everybody's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. It happens.
But yeah, it happens sometimes.
I've had family members, they've had to have it kind of something tweaked once they do it. But ultimately, it's good. Like I said, don't be discouraged. It's ultimately it's good, but I mean, it's not a perfect. There's no perfect procedures when they're talking about replacing things.
Yeah. So that's just it. The only thing perfect is what the good Lord does,
right.
y'all. So I just anyway, but yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good.
How are you doing?
We're good. We are deep in the VITA, and then also our funding cycle is up. So that's kind of where Ace and Catherine have been in the bunkers. And then I volunteered to be on one of the teams this year to go through and review the applications, and then we do all of the site visits as well. And so it's funny, our site visit day was last Wednesday where we're going to get out and see everybody. So we turned that into a virtual site visit day. And so it took me back to COVID days. I was pretty much on a Zoom, Teams, whatever you want to call it, for about 7 hours straight, just looking at a computer screen. It's awful, man. No offense, but it's just, I'd much rather just go talk to these people face to face.
It's much more fun.
And go see their place and go talk to them. But there's a deadline for it. And so we were we didn't have time to reschedule because they're doing several of these. I mean, there's hundreds of these. So I just had like a small portion of it on our team. The group I had was great. The people that we interviewed were phenomenal. They're doing phenomenal work. It is amazing to hear about their work. It's some that I served on a Davidson County team just because the Robertson County one's a little near and dear. You know what I mean? I got some buddies.
Because you can be.
Yeah, I can be impartial.
Yes, I can see that. I get that.
They're not just. Like, they're friends now at this point. Like, we've worked together long enough, and we've worked on enough projects. And, like, of course, I'm going to want all of them to get as much funding as they possibly can because I'm an advocate for them, and I know exactly what they do. Whereas the Davidson County ones, I was familiar with a few of them and had some dealings with them, but a few of them I had never met in my life, didn't know anything about them. So it's good to go in fresh that way. So you're really just learning about them from the perspective of the application process, which is the way it's supposed to go. So it's not like a personal relationship. So it's always very educational. I've done it once before. And I would encourage anyone that would like to volunteer. We had 2 Robertson County folks on that with us, which was good because they had done Robertson County stuff before. And so we thought it would be good to show them the Davidson County stuff because they'd already been through a couple of Robertson County cycles. So there was some Robertson County folks on the thing with me that were doing Davidson County stuff. So we have Robertson County people doing it here too, but we wanted our seasoned veterans maybe to see this, and it's on a little bit of a bigger scale. Some of the things they were asking for just because the operations are bigger. In some of what they're doing in the area they're serving is larger in some of these cases. And so it was just very educational, but that's what Catherine and Ace are deep in right now. And we're close to close to ending that portion of the process. And then they'll make the allocations and then we're good for a couple of years.
And what is it for, if you're not familiar with all this is where they come in and anybody that gets, that's what people don't understand about United Way, the vetting process that goes into it. Somebody asked me about a nonprofit not that long ago that I knew was that was a partner with United Way. And I said, well, one thing's for sure if that's true, United Way will vet it and find that out.
Right.
Because it was something, kind of like, oh, have you heard da 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 da?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, don't worry about it, because
Yeah,
United Way is about to
I
vet
promise you it's
them,
extensive.
And I promise you, and
Yeah.
it's one that came through tried and true, which I knew.
Right.
And I said, because I mean, it's extensive, because it's community people that are coming in, like you said, non-biasedly looking at these things. And are you doing what you're saying you're doing? Where's the money going? Because you're, going into these businesses and saying what you want to happen with your money is going to happen.
Right.
And you got to stand.
Right.
Yeah, you got to be able to stand.
I can't. And it's more so even like I can't look at a person that's working really hard for their money and they're giving their money generous to us and look them in the eye and say, we're going to make best use of your money. You know what I mean? If we're not doing that, like I can't do that. Some people may be able to do that. I could not do that. And so to go through this process again, I know for a fact that it is being looked at in the best way possible, and to make sure that there's no crossover and that we're spreading the money out and to make the most impact in our community, but also like they're doing what they say they're doing. And also like, our money's a little different. So like if they get grant money, there's designations a lot of times, like we're getting something for this very specific thing, whereas ours is undesignated, and that's great because they may need to pay a part-time employee with it. They may need to fix their roof. They may need to do whatever they need to do to keep functioning as a nonprofit, and that's what we want them ultimately to do so that they can maximize their service to the community. But through that process, we're going to find out everything we can about what they're doing, what their goals are, what their missions are, what their outcomes are. And there's some very tough questions asked through that process. It's not an adversarial process. I think it's very like partnership oriented. I mean, we're wanting them to succeed, but we also got to find out what's going on. And so they don't trust somebody like me to design all this. People that are really smart put this whole process together and have got it figured out down to a science. But it is very educational to hear the work that's going on, and even the nonprofits that a lot of us will be very familiar with just because they've been around and we know them, you would be just surprised at the depth of what they're doing and how it gets done.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what was kind of, I don't want to mention anybody by name because we're going through there, but there's ones that we all know, and it's like, I kind of know what they do, right? Just because they're nationwide and we all kind of know what they do, but to understand the depths of what they're doing just here locally, and how much thought and work and time is going in to do what they do was educational for me. And it gave me an appreciation for how hard it is, particularly, in this climate that we're in right now, with a lot of the federal stuff that's going on, and there's a lot of worry, and we don't know what's happening.
Programs cut.
And what's happening, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So for them, but they just continue. I mean, we got ones that have been around forever, and so they've been through all of this stuff in some capacity in many ways, right? And so their mission is just to keep. They just go forward, and I love that because they're not letting what's going on around them take them away from what their mission is, and and you can tell, and they're passionate about it, and they're going to get it done. I have no doubt. You know what I mean? Because they believe in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a good program, guys. We've got such an amazing United Way organization here in Robertson County that serves the Middle Tennessee area, and it's just been my pleasure to get to know y'all and to understand the United, because there's a lot of people who don't really understand what the United Way does, and I didn't.
I didn't either. I saw the football commercials on or during the Titans games. They had a partnership with NFL. That was pretty much my frame of reference. But like I said, I could not stand up in front of groups of people that are giving their money, and the backbone of the United Way's fundraising model, and has been for 100 years in the Middle Tennessee area, are corporate campaigns and payroll deductions and people giving maybe $1 check. That's literally been our foundation. So it's literally all of us that have supported the United Way over the years. But then that in turn allows us to support those, and I'm going to use a few here locally, like a United Ministries or COPE, that are completely volunteer run.
Yep.
Now
no administrative.
They have grant dollars, and they do their own. They have their own donations that come in, but like our portion of the funding, I'm proud of that we are able to assist them in what they do, because I think what they do is so vital for our community. If you don't believe me, go over to United Ministries one day, and I promise they can put you to work and unload a truck with them and see the people lining up, and the need right now, especially with food costs and with everything else going on has never been greater. And so their role has never been more important. And there's United Ministries all over the place. Like I'm saying, that's ours because it's here, but there's all over our footprint throughout Tennessee, throughout our country. There's people that are selflessly giving of their time and their talents to help those that are less fortunate. And so it's our job as a United Way to make sure they can continue to do that.
And if you want a place to plug in, that's one thing, to go to United Way, and they can help plug you in. While I'm thinking about that, this is a question. This is completely off subject, but my husband, he said, ask Brian, he is my husband. God bless him. I'm so proud of him as a teacher. He is so much more organized than me. He is so good. And he will come to me all the time. He'll be like, man, there's a kid in my class, and I'm concerned about this. He's so empathetic. And he goes, I've got a couple of kids that can't see the board. And I ask them about their eyesight, and they've just not been to the eye doctor. He goes, what can we do to help these kids? Yeah. And do you have an idea of where we need to steer
I can find that one. This is one of those I don't off the top of my head, but I guarantee there's somebody that does that, and I'll text myself literally right now, and because there's got to be something. Yeah.
And that's not the first thing he's brought to me, but I said, well, United Way is really a great place to start, and the Family Resource Center at the schools. But just like he asked one of his principals the other day about what can we do to help these kids that cannot see to the front of the room.
Unbelievable question, because I know that's probably pretty common.
These are high school kids, and you assume that somebody's taking care of it. Well, one of the principals said something about Lions Club. Lions Club is about. I mean, I work with the Lions Club donated glasses. That's not now. They may have some aspect where they're fitting glasses. I don't know of it. Lions Club, they take in donated glasses. We get those. You have to put those. Every pair that comes in has to be placed on a lensometer, which tells what the prescription is. You write the prescription on it. We take those on mission trips, whatever, and then we put the people on a refractor to where they can, we can get what their prescription is, and then we match them. We go through all of these glasses and find something that will be closely matched to their prescription. So Lions Club is in charge of the donated glasses. But I don't know of anybody that's charity fitting those glasses. What we do down in Mexico, I wish we could do it here in the States. I really do.
Yeah, I've never heard of Family Resource Center would be my first option there, because Jenny Duskin, they're amazing, and they're super plugged in. Yeah. And if they don't know, just like me, they'll send out hey, we need some help here. And usually they got 5 people volunteer. Say, hey, I can do this, or I can do that, or whatever. I will text her as well and just ask. That's a great question. But if somebody's not doing that, that would be like, that would be amazing. Because it's because they'll sit there, and I went to school with a couple people, and you see them, and they're like, they can't see. And if you can't see, like, it's a little difficult to learn. You know what I mean? If you can't read and you're not kind of catching and you're embarrassed, or like, I mean, and we all know this. If thankfully I've had good eyes most of my life, but my wife's had glasses since she was young.
Oh, me too.
Ain't cheap. Even if you got insurance, there's nothing. There's nothing cheap about it. It's one of those. It's weird. We have health insurance, but then you have to have, like, even if you got good insurance, you have to add on the dental, which your teeth are extremely important to your health. Any dentist will tell you that. And then your eyes are another separate deal, which are also extremely important. It's like, how's that not part of your general health?
I would think.
Your teeth and your eyes.
Be one thing.
Right. Yeah, it's part of my body. It's my health. Like, if I can't see, I kind of need some help here.
I'm with you.
I'm paying a lot of money for this insurance. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother rant. But I know from her stuff, even when she has great insurance through the state, her stuff is not cheap every year to keep it up. And I can imagine if you don't have great insurance, or you don't have any insurance, what that would cost to get fit. So I will find that out for you, and I will text you. Yep, that's a good question.
Because I have kiddos right now. I mean, that's the thing. We don't understand until if you've been with these kids that are high school. I've got kids right now telling me that they can't afford to buy their cap and gown for graduation. It's $300. I'm like, what? It costs that much for a kid to graduate? These kids, I mean, a lot of them are coming from families that are barely getting by, and then you hit them up with things like glasses, dental visits, paying for a cap and gown, and they can't afford it. And it just breaks my heart. And that's what the Family Resource Center is all about. Right. But I had a couple of seniors mention to me, I said something about that. We kind of have this thing right now where there's a certification that we're having them do that'll get them ready for employability. It's career readiness certification. You can't have your cap and gown until you get this. And I had one of them say to me, well, I haven't ordered a cap and gown. I can't afford it. I was like, what?
$300 is
That's a lot of money.
If with the way things are going right now, that's a luxury that most people are going to pass on, right? I mean, I know.
What do we do about that?
I don't know. It just, I hear stuff like this, and it's just it hurts me because
It does me too.
you know, I know people like $300. If you're on a razor thin budget, is
a lot.
Is a massive ask.
There's got to be a resource for it because I know we're not going to just well, you just can't walk. That's not going to happen. But if you want to help with that, let me know, and I'm going to reach out to reach out to the Family Resource Center specifically.
When did it become $300?
I don't know, but I mean, this is from the mouth of a teenager.
I believe them. I mean,
this is the mouth from the
I
mouth
graduated
of a
30 years ago,
teenager.
so I have no idea. I've not asked.
I don't know, but that's what they told me, and I haven't had time to even ask that question beyond just because I got this just yesterday from one of my students, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. And so I've got to reach out and have those conversations today. I will do that. Dr. Osborne is probably going, LaVern.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Every kid should be able to, like, if you've graduated high school, you should be able to walk with your class and all that. But $300, I get it. $300, I get it.
That's got to be some
a huge
resources.
lick. Yeah.
But that, and what brought this, and again, my husband's got some students he's identified that desperately need glasses, and he doesn't know where to point them.
I will find out that there's got to be some resource available there to at least assist with that. Mm-hmm. And I've just never heard of one that's specific to that. I'm sure they're out there.
Right.
There's somebody, because somebody's had this issue. You said, we need to do something about that and fix that. So
I'd love to see that I talk a lot about Bobby Davis up at Life Church in Cookeville because he's just phenomenal in what they've built up there. They have what they called a duo ministry, do unto others, and they have built out these buses. They have like a haircut bus, they have a medical bus, and they have an optical bus. They go into communities and they do this.
I love it.
And I would love
that. Is so good.
I think that duo ministry is such a.
You're talking about hands and feet. Just get on, do it. Yeah.
I would love to see that just become. I would love to see the duo ministry down here, in this area in some way, and maybe that's something we can figure out. But I would love to see an optical bus down here, a medical bus. We do this stuff in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I mean that's what we go to Mexico every summer to do. And I get to working with the optical is just it is one of the greatest blessings I've ever had is being able to work in that ministry, and. Why can't we do that here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's great that y'all do that here, but there's always, and this is just, I know everybody has their preferences. I've always felt like, it starts here. Like, like there's need here, and that's always kind of, and I'm so thankful that there are people that want to go throughout the world and spread God's word
right here.
and help other people. Their heart is beautiful for that. My heart has always been for my community, and like I've seen a lot of need here. Grew up with it, you see it.
Right.
Kids you went to school with, people you see in your communities, like we need help here. And not say there's need everywhere. I know that, but that's just where my passion's always been. But like, why can't we just duplicate that here?
I do. I think, and that's something we need to. The duo ministry is a good launching pin. But I don't know. I need to myself figure out how they did it, and maybe see if I can't help. Facilitate.
I will come up. I will have an answer for you today.
Okay,
I'll figure out. So at least a direction. So that's good. And before you got to add.
I don't really have ads, but a couple of things I want to mention. Veterans Motorplex is not, I'm assuming they're going to come back on. They may not be able to this year, but they've always been an advertiser with us, so they're not on the ad schedule right now, but they should be starting their season up here next weekend. They typically go from March to October, so I'll be reaching out to Jerry to try to find out, but I do know they've got their Racers Banquet that's coming up. And if you want tickets to their banquet, the last time to get those is on March 6th, Wednesday. But you can go to Highland Rim Speedway, go to that page, and they've got the clicks and the links to do that. But get ready. It's going to be racing season here in just a minute, and hoping they're going to be coming back on as one of our sponsors. They've always been really good to the program. But we will reach out to them and see what's going on. And it's going to be an exciting, because they've got all their renovations done. They were caught up with renovations last year, and they had a little bit of a delayed start. But get ready for Veterans Motorplex, about to kick it off again. And they've got their Racers Banquet happening. And it's on the 8th, I think, is when the banquet happens. But the last chance to get tickets, you need to go get your tickets if you want to go to that. You've got to get those by March 6th. So you got to get your tickets by March 6th. And this is a save the date. Riley Gaines, swimmer extraordinaire, is going to be the keynote speaker at the Decisions, Choices, and Options dinner that's coming up on May 1st. Raleigh Gaines, keynote speaker there. That's going to be a packed house up in Sumner County. But I always go to this, and if you want to be a part of that, again, that's a Decisions, Choices, and Option event. You're going to want to save the date for that. But that's up at the Big Baptist Church there. I forget which one. But anyway, it's the great big one that's there in Hendersonville. But Riley Gaines is keynote speaker. So just kind of put those two little seeds in there. But I know you got to talk about VITA.
Just real quick. Yeah. I want to, because I was wanted to get in here last week, obviously, but the weather. So we do have 2 VITA sites here in Robertson County. They will be, and I'm getting to that. I want to make sure I have the dates correct. They will be at the Robertson County YMCA. They were there on February 15th. We'll have another availability on March 24th. That will be from 9 to 1. Walk-ins are welcome. Again, the Robertson County YMCA, March 24th from 9 to 1. And then Stokes Brown Public Library, we just had one this past Saturday. We'll have another one on March 15th from 9 to 1. Again, walk-ins will be welcome there at the library, 9 to 1. We have sites throughout our footprint, though. There's one in Montgomery County at their public library. There's one in Goodlettsville at their library, I believe. But you can just type in VITA United Way. It'll pull up the first VITA United Way, and it's the first link when you Google, and it'll have all the sites on there. There's also a virtual option, but if some people like to sit down with their stuff and go through it with somebody, so we will have those in-person options, but there's also a virtual option as well. So I would encourage you to take advantage of that. There's sites throughout our community. If you can't make the one on those 2 dates here locally in Springfield, or if you live in another part of the county, there's other options. So just look, and they have the hours. Some of them you have to make an appointment on. Some of them it'll say walk-ins welcome. So all the information will be there on the site that you can look at. But I wanted to get those 2 out that are here.
We're assuming people know what VITA is.
Yeah, that's free tax prep. Yeah. So if you are household income, I think this year it's 77 is or under household income, you are able to get your taxes done for free. And so you take your stuff, and you're going to need ID. You're going to need all your W-2 and all your tax information. You go sit down. You'll have a volunteer, but as they've been licensed to do this. This is an IRS sanctioned program, and they will do your taxes. If you say my taxes are a mess, this is what they love to do. They will help get them cleaned up. I promise you, they get excited.
I know,
and they will get fired up, and it's their best feeling in the world as a volunteer. They see somebody come in, and they're
just freaking out.
They're freaking out, and then they leave, and they got a smile on their face because their stuff is done. Yeah. And you're going to maximize your refund. And I want to share real quick. I know we're up against some time.
You're good.
I want to share real quick just some numbers. 9,712 tax returns were completed by volunteers last year. 10.3 million in tax refunds. 2.6 million saved by taxpayers in tax prep fees. Because a lot of these places that you see, and I'm not judging, but they say we'll do them, but you got to pay. We're getting some of it, and it's a little bit of them are scammy. I'm just going to say that.
Yes, they are.
This is completely free.
Yeah.
There's no string. There's nothing free. This is free. This is a free service. They want to help you. I promise you. So I don't care how jacked up your taxes are or or what you say. Well, my stuff's a mess. It's everybody but me. If you're under that income threshold, I promise you they can help you. Yeah. And so take advantage of that. Two opportunities here locally. I'm going to go through those again.
One more time. Yeah.
Just to make sure that we all here.
Taxes done. Get that monkey off your back.
Get it. You'll feel so much better.
Yes.
I promise you. You are Robertson County YMCA, March 24th, 9 to 1. 9 to 1 at the Robertson County YMCA. And it's Stokes Brown Public Library, March 15th from 9 to 1. Walk-ins welcome at both sites.
Okay.
I would say, just get there. Don't get there at 12:55. Maybe try to get there, a little early, and they will, I promise you, they will get to you. I also want to give a big shout out to our library and to Jeremy and his crew at YMCA. Since he's taken over as the head guy over there, they have turned that into a community hub. I'm a member over there, and I just love what he's doing. He's opened his doors. There's always stuff going on. They hosted for Kiwanis. They had all the stuff and let the people come through over there. They have a church that meets over there on Sundays. They've got this going on. Like, his doors are always open for the community. So big shout out to them. That's what I'm talking about. Community people stepping up, opening their doors. Our library, we know, is amazing. We're so fortunate to have a library like that for a community our size. So thankful for all those people and opening their doors and letting this service happen.
I love it.
Yep.
United Way, Brian Pulley, thank you. And tell the girls said hello.
I'll do it. I'll try to get them to work again. I don't know where they're at half the time.
They're they're working. That's the thing. They're just all over the place. That's
right.
the problem.
That's right.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes,
and thank
ma'am.
you guys for joining us. We have got Katie Allen coming on tomorrow for Faith Friday. That's going to be a lot of fun. She's somebody I had in, I don't know, a good month or so ago. Great conversation and just very knowledgeable biblically. And I'm really excited to have her in, and just no telling where the conversation will go. It'll be fun. Join us here for Faith Friday tomorrow on 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.
Walking in darkness, sad and alone, searching for a love that was real. Then I heard about Jesus, and he saved my soul. Now I want to say how